This is Doyle. You're listening to Spirit Talk Show, Bedtime Stories for Grown-Ups. This is a show about connection, the kind that comes from sharing our stories. Each episode, we like to explore the power of storytelling through personal narratives, original creative work, and even a few AI-generated tales. I mean, we're using the AI to connect with people. We're not using the AI to do the creative stuff. So together we can discover who we are and we can see how we're all connected. I think that's the importance of what we need to do, that kind of authentic and real connection with people. And if you guys would like to get involved, you can go to spirittalkshow.com. I'm really privileged every week to talk to cool, inspirational, fun, funny, nice, heartwarming people. Thank you so much for everybody who has come on, and thank you so much everybody who listens. We're kind of exploding. We're at almost 300,000 downloads and 16,000 subscribers, growing every day. Thank you so much for that. I'm glad you're here for some real, authentic connection. And so tonight on Spirit Talk Show, we welcome a man who calls himself the Positive Thought Catalyst. And for good reason. Dom Brightmon has dedicated his life to advancing others so they can advance themselves. Dom Brightmon has dedicated his life to advancing others so they can advance others. From becoming the youngest area director in Toastmasters at just 23 to writing best-selling books like Going North and Staying the Course, to hosting his Going North podcast with over 850 author interviews, Dom has built a legacy rooted in leadership, laughter, and lifelong learning. He is a certified Maxwell leadership trainer, a prolific speaker, and someone who believes libraries are filled with gold waiting to be mined. Get ready for an energetic, funny, and deeply moving conversation with Dom Brightmon. Press pause. Go on this. Okay, are you ready? Is he on? Okay, ready? Here we go. Hi, Dom. Hello, can you hear me? Hey, Dom. Uh-oh. Is he not connecting? Hello.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, I can't hear you.
There we go.
Hello, you're on.
How's it going?
You're on like Donkey Kong. Look at that. You're on like the break of dawn. So nice to talk to you, Dom. Thank you so much for coming on. Wow. You have a pretty interesting background there. You like you're killing it at life. Can you, again, the same joke I say every day, can you leave a little success for the rest of us, please?
Nope, sure thing, man. The pie's huge.
Hey, yeah, but you're taking your share for sure. That's great. We need people like that, and we need people to be doing these podcasts. I think my one's a little bit different than yours. Mine is about like storytelling. I'm actually going to ask you if you're willing to read some stories tonight with us, which is a fun thing to do. I'm Doyle, and I have Howie, my producer, here with me.
How you doing, Dom?
Hi.
How's it going, Howie?
It's going great, thanks.
So, Tom, we're reading about you, researching you, and it said you call yourself a positive thought catalyst. Where did that identity come from, and what does it mean for you today?
Yeah, so that actually came from just years of me just having a positive mental attitude and helping folks to develop theirs. And after a while, it was like, hey, I was reading this book on how to write an introduction for yourself. Then the caffeine kicked in enough to where I was like, hey, wait a second, catalyst. I love that word. Wait, positive thought catalyst. Yeah, there we go. Catalyzing positive thought.
That's really cool. And it obviously serves you well. Your affect you come across with is very positive and ingratiating and like welcoming. So obviously you're winning at life, basically, is what I'm saying. So you became the youngest area director of Toastmasters International at 23. Wow, leave some success for the rest of us. What lessons from that experience? What did you learn from that experience that guides your leadership?
Funny enough, like, if you meet the right people, your progress can just accelerate tenfold.
Yeah, yeah.
Like networking is what got me that position. I was just helping out a friend one day, and they were like, "Hey, we got this position open. Hey, you want to go for it?" Like, "Oh yeah, sure, sign me up." And hey, there was nobody else available, so got in and turned out all right that year. I'm like, "All right, cool."
Wow, cool. So this is at 23. So this is like 2 years ago, right? For you, right? Okay.
If only.
Let's.
More like 11.
Well, hey, babe, if you're going back to 23 for me, it's in the 30s. So 30 years ago. So no, actually.
Nice.
No, a little bit less than the 30. I'm not that old yet.
Yeah,
so,
born in 72, right?
born in what?
I didn't even know that.
Where did you find that information?
Oh, that was one of your recent episodes with Michelle DiFilippo.
Oh yes. Okay, we were talking about that. I was born in 72. I guess, you do 300 episodes and you forget all the things you talk about. I'm sure I've revealed
Yep.
many pieces of information.
It happens all the time.
And you've done like 850, I heard, on your podcast, right? So it says you've interviewed.
Oh, 1,000.
Oh,
Wow. So you've interviewed, it says, the research I said, 850 authors on your podcast, Going North. It's called Going North Podcast. What did you get from that? What's a surprising lesson or that came from those, what's stayed with you from those conversations?
That somebody could actually write 14,000 words in a day. I didn't even know that was a thing.
How many pages is 14,000 words?
I wouldn't even venture to guess.
I bet you know, Dom.
That's equivalent to probably a good 50 pages in a book.
Wow.
A day. Wow,
Yeah.
we did have Shanti. We did have an author on a few weeks ago called Shanti Henderson.
Yeah.
And she was a really young author. She's a published author, and she's like 17. I think that episode actually just went live today that I'm recording this episode. What day is it today? It's November 5th in 2025. The episode just went live today, and she is writing a page every day for a year. Is that it?
Yeah, it was more than that, I think.
Nice.
But yeah, something like that.
She's going through that.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's commitment.
So your book. Let's talk about your book. It did quite well. It's the namesake of your podcast. Well, actually, your podcast is probably the namesake of the book. Like Going North. What's the title mean? Where did it come from?
Funny enough, you're actually right. Like Going North, that just started off as a joke because I was running late for work one day, and someone was asking me, "Hey Dom, how's it going?" And I was like, "I'm going north," and she just busted out laughing because I took the question so literally.
That is funny. That's such a dad joke, Dom. You are over 30. Come on, you're turning into.
Yeah.
When you start doing the
Keeping
dad
it
jokes.
corny.
Yeah, when you start doing the dad jokes, it's all downhill, babe. So that's how that happened. And then one day you turn 50, and then it's like, what the heck happened? So,
The last 20 years ago, damn it.
well, I mean, I'm positive, and I want to keep, I want to keep positive, and I'm having adventures. Yeah, I'm having adventures every day, and I get to make this podcast, and this podcast, the popularity is growing exponentially, and it's cool I speak to cool people like you. The guy we interviewed tonight just before you was inspirational, as inspirational as you are, and it's just I get to speak to these people every day, and it's such a privilege. It's such a like a benefit. I think Howie wants to ask a question.
Dom, I can see that you're a really positive person. Our viewers can't see this, but you've got a big smile. You're laughing. It's definitely a rock solid positive mental attitude. How do you keep that even on rough days? I mean that's not easy for everybody to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it can be rough for real. Yeah, definitely. Like humor, I always try to look for the light side of things. Like humor, if I can laugh about something, even if it's myself, that usually helps the situation. Another reason why I tell so many dad jokes. It's funny enough.
Yeah.
Like years ago, I was on the yearbook team for my high school, and I was interviewing my gym teacher for some kind of article or something in the darn book.
Yep.
And the yearbook guy, who was also the computer teacher, he was there. He was like, "Hey, you should be writing these things down." But the whole time, he was just telling these dad jokes and laughing at his own jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't get any of these. And then it's like fast forward 10 years later, it's like I'm doing the same thing as him. It's just full circle.
It's like this thing. I mean, I am a dad, and I always remember rolling my eyes to the point that they're almost going to stick that way at my dad. And then you find yourself saying these jokes like, "Hey, I have a pen that can write upside down." You know, oh no, sorry, I messed up the joke.
You did, but
what was the joke? I have a pen that can write underwater. It can write other words too, but it can write other words. and another dad joke is, "Hey, I just finished my last novel like last week. I just finished my first novel last week. I'm going to start reading another one any day." So that's a dad joke, and I messed up both jokes.
You did.
I usually can tell.
You butchered them.
I effed them up all kind of terrible. So, Don, do you think we can convince you to read? We research our guests, and we write a tribute story and a tribute poem, and then we sometimes write a fictional narrative. Can we convince you to read your tribute story? First, I'll share the screen.
Sure.
And so I will.
Yeah, man.
I'll teleprompt it a little bit. You know, I will move it when I have the screen on. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, let's see if I can get it on here. Okay, there we go. Okay, and so when I'm moving it, like I won't move it like this when you're reading. I will, when you get the end of a sentence, I'll move it down quickly. Okay, so this is your tribute story. So when you're ready, go ahead and read.
Okay, cool. So reading aloud this case?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, cool.
Okay. Sorry, did you ask me a question?
Kind of person
so,
who doesn't just walk their...
Sorry, can you start again? I talked over you.
I think there's a lag.
Oh, no. I just wanted to know if you wanted me to read it aloud
yes, I want you to read it aloud. Sorry.
Oh, there might be. There's some heavy wind outside tonight. So
okay. Where are you located right now?
Oh, okay, cool. Good size.
Okay.
The good old land of charm and crab cakes, Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, nice. I love it. My master's degree is from Baltimore. I didn't go to school there. I went online, but the school is in Baltimore, Walden University.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you know Walden?
Nice. What'd you get your master's in, man?
Oh, educational technology, education, technology emphasis. Yeah, that's what I do. I teach computers right now on the side, right? That's my side gig, teaching. Sorry. Yeah.
So you get all the apples on your desk.
Well, I actually work for an online school, so they don't really give me apples anymore. I don't think anybody ever did. I think maybe I got 2 or 3 apples in my career, and I was kind of afraid to eat them. As a rule, I don't eat unwrapped food my students bring me if it's not in a plastic package. Yeah, because you look around and some of the students, they don't have the best hygiene sometimes, and you're thinking, I'm going to eat something you made in your kitchen. Yeah, no. Sorry, I'm distracting you. I'll let you read the story.
Yeah, God forbid they were failing your class too. It's like, hey, if I take them out.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I should probably read this thing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So there's a certain kind of... Oh, are we recording too, by the way?
Oh, sorry. I record from the second the people come on. Yeah. So I like to record all the intro stuff too. So I get all the intro.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
So I've been recording since the second you spoke to me, yeah. Hope that's okay.
Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, no, that's cool, man, because I want you to lose content there, because that's happened to me and other people.
Oh, yeah. It happens for sure.
Anyways, back to the story, I guess. Good old bedtime story. There's a certain kind of person who doesn't just walk their path. They clear a trail wide enough for others to follow. Dom Brightmon has been doing that from the moment he stepped into leadership at 23, becoming the youngest area director in Toastmasters International. When others saw obstacles, he saw opportunities. Where many might shrink from the challenge of guiding voices older, louder, or more experienced than his, Dom leaned into the chance to encourage, elevate, and empower. But his story is not one of early achievement alone. It's a story of steady, intentional growth. Through writing best-selling books like Going North and Stay the Course, Dom has put into words the practices and attitudes that have helped him transform setbacks into momentum. These books don't read like manuals, they read like roadmaps, filled with humor and human connection. Then came the podcast. With over 1,000 author interviews on the Going North podcast, Dom has turned his microphone into a lantern. Each conversation is a light cast into another's story, another's wisdom, another's hard-earned lessons. And because he believes in the business of immortality, that our words and ideas live beyond us, he invites listeners not to just consume stories, but to create their own. What makes Dom's journey remarkable isn't simply the scale of his work. It's the way he weaves joy and laughter into leadership. He teaches not by standing above, but by standing alongside, reminding us that libraries are filled with gold, that mentorship can accelerate our journeys, and that advancing others is the surest way to advance ourselves. His legacy is not of a single book, podcast, or keynote. His legacy is the countless people who, after hearing him, take one more step toward their own greatness.
What do you think about that?
Amazing. I freaking love it.
Well, I'll share that document with you as soon as we get done here. The document with the questions and stories and your intro that we give for you. So you've done keynote speaking. You've written your books, best-selling books, 2 best-selling books. Wow. And where can they get them? They can get them on Amazon, presumably.
Oh, yeah. Amazon, wherever books are sold. If your bookstore doesn't have them, tell them to put it in there. Stop playing.
Stop playing, yeah. Stop being a bitch and get it in there. That's what I say to my son. I say, stop being a bitch. Stop being a bitch and do it. Yeah. Get her done. So your books, I noticed that your books stress mentorship is a book on you often stress that mentorship is a book on steroids, right? Can you share a story where mentorship changed your trajectory?
Yeah, mentorship definitely changed my trajectory a lot. I'd have to say I'm definitely standing on the shoulders of giants. I'm the youngest of my family, so by default, I had to pick up speed, especially since all of my siblings were at least 7+ years older than me. So I was the smallest and had to, in the words of the late great Paul Mooney, I may have been born yesterday, but I had to stay up all night. And basically, with all of that, I had to really learn. One instance that really sticks out to me is when actually one of my colleagues, he at the time back in the day, he would have 2 jobs but in the same building because it was a library, and he would work part-time in the morning, 4 hours in the morning, take a quick 30, 60-minute break, put on the blue shirt, and then do security after school because we were not your average bear library. We would have anywhere between 150 to 300 high schoolers come in the building after school because there was one directly behind us, and we were a drop-off for 7 other schools. And I would just watch the way he would basically work with customers and basically handle certain issues and basically would emulate him at times. And sometimes I would even lean on certain walls when they would be slow at the desk. And then when my managers called out, I was like, hey, get off that wall. I'm like, hey, what do you mean? Come on. I see this guy do it. And after a while, they just didn't care about a good year in because I became so much better at helping out the customers and basically getting more competent at my job to where it's like, hey, I learned a magical lesson. One of the major lessons that, hey, you only get a little slack to do certain things once you get good at what you do. And you have to have a certain level of competence and time really built into what you're doing for folks to really let you be able to, I guess in a way, take the leash off of you, if you will. Where it's like, okay, we don't have to really keep all these googly eyes looking at him. We don't have to fool George Orwell, Big Brother, 1984, the guy anymore. He's good.
Wow. So, wow. I think Howie had a question he wanted to ask you.
Well, I guess kind of along that vein, libraries are sacred spaces for you. You feel like they're gold that needs to be mined. Why do you believe they're still vital in our digital age?
Oh, they are extremely vital. Funny enough, because with the wonderful power of the wonderful AI out there, there actually was a newspaper article that came out like last year, funny enough, that mentioned how ChatGPT had an error. It miscounted how many best-selling albums that Justin Bieber released. It had like maybe 3 listed. There's actually 4. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, it's like it's funny just seeing that on the front page of a newspaper, checking it in for the very few amount of folks who still read the newspaper today, which is still amazing that folks still read newspapers, but just the fact that there's still inaccurate information out there, like AI can hallucinate,
Well,
and it still does to this day. Like it's gotten better now, but like sometimes, especially heck, I'm not sure what the exact case was, but there was a case about I want to say at least a good 12, 20, not 12, 24, 12 to 14 months ago, where a lawyer was quoting all these cases of a certain crime that happened where it actually didn't happen. ChatGPT just made up all these stories. So basically, it was making up all these stories. And he was quoting these cases because he was too lazy to do the actual research, and the judge reprimanded him for it, and he had to apologize for it. And
wow.
not only just the fact of just fighting misinformation, but also the fact that they're kind of that third place for people. Folks have their homes,
Mhm.
and if they're employed, they have their jobs, but they don't have that place in the middle. Like libraries these days, they're not your old dusty places where you got card catalogs from the 80s and you got a bunch of old white ladies telling you to shush all the time. Like
Yeah.
it's way different. Like a lot of, especially public libraries these days, they're basically, for a lot of people, their home office. Some libraries have recording studios, like my man Doyle and Howie, they're in a studio right now. Like there's some libraries out there with recording studios.
Hmm.
During the pandemic in 2020, there was a lack of chances for kids to get food because the thing is, during the school year, sometimes the only chance that kids would have the chance to eat would be during the lunch period at school. And so certain libraries became drop-off points for families to pick up free lunches, subsidized through tax dollars to really help them to get those meals that they missed during the pandemic. And on top of that, more tax dollars being used for certain systems where they can actually have customers check out Chromebooks to be able to use laptops and at home, Wi-Fi hotspots to connect to the internet. Even sometimes library of things, folks can check out and borrow fishing poles, or they can borrow a musical keyboard.
Hmm.
So it's not just books in a place where folks want to be quiet all the time. It's really just chock full of stuff. It's probably a Thanksgiving turkey the size of Texas, but full of things in there these days, as
That's
opposed
great.
to the old books.
So it's becoming a place where people, it serves the community rather than just a quiet place to read. I work for an online school that serves an underserved population in Oakland, California. And a lot of these kids at 13 years old have never touched a computer. I mean, because that's how underserved they have been. And we're putting computers and Wi-Fi in their home, and it's probably, for some of them, it's the only computer in the house is their computer that we give them. And so it's so important, and we do give them a lot of resources to go to the library because it's become a community, a center of community rather than just, as you said, old white ladies going, shh. Yeah, and that's the way libraries were for me when I was a kid. You know, it was just kind of the stuffy place. Wow, cool. That's cool. So in your book, Going North, you talked about creating your own piece of immortality. So what does their immortality look like for you?
Immortality is basically content. I'd have to say content that lasts through books, through podcasts, especially like this, to where it's like, hey, once it's on the internet, it's out there forever.
Hmm.
And the thing is, I came across this idea in this wonderful book by Dr. Joe Vitale, The Seven Lost Secrets of Success. And in the first few pages, he mentions a figure known as Bruce Barton, where he was a very rich man, especially before the Great Depression, where he basically was and he created basically the business that nobody would consider. He wrote a book called The Man That Nobody Knows. It would basically take the life of Jesus and then apply some of his acts as if he were an entrepreneur or businessman.
Yeah.
And that book is over 100 years old. He even wrote a book called The Man That Nobody Knows as well. And that book is still being sold today. And he mentioned how books are basically a way to be making sure that you're immortal, because it's a way to really just share your thoughts. And if folks get a chance to read them after you're gone, that you may be gone physically, but hey, there's at least a piece of you that folks get to check back on and see what your thoughts were at the time, and really dive into that, and may be inspired to really change their own life for the better, or maybe just be inspired to keep living another day.
Well, yeah, I think about that in this podcast because I have hundreds of episodes out there that are in the ether now forever. And I think about, like, you, in 100 years, people could be listening to this podcast. In 100 years, people could be listening to your podcast. As they're flying their spaceship to Mars, they're listening to us on a podcast. And that feels inspirational. That feels wow, to think that I'm going to get to be part of that. And maybe not. I don't want to toot my own horn. Maybe my podcast isn't so amazing that people will forget about it as soon as I'm gone. That's not going to happen. But, I don't want, but it's cool. It's cool to think of how you're going out there. And you've got 1,000 episodes. Why does it say 850 online? Where did it, like who got it wrong? Is it wrong on your website, or did I get it wrong?
Hey, it might be wrong on the website, because I remember changing the bio on Podmatch and Podcast Guest, but who knows? It might be on the website. The website, I have not touched that in probably about, it's probably been about 2 months since I touched it. Now that I think about it, maybe 2 or 3 months, because episode 1,000, that happened about, I want to say, September. So,
wow.
2 months from
that's a great milestone. That's definitely that'll definitely keep you immortal.
How long have you been doing the podcast?
It's been 8 great years, which is still surprising to this day. It's been 8 years.
Wow, since you were 20. Wow. So that's cool. So I think Howie's going to read your tribute poem here for you. So we're going to have a velvet voice. He gets embarrassed when I say that to him. But now it's become a shtick now, I have to say. And we're going to have the velvet voice of Howie read a poem right now.
The
Howie,
pressure.
go.
Okay. Advance to advance. He walked with words, a lantern flame, a spark of joy, a trusted name. At 23, he lit the way and helped new voices find their say. Through books and mics, his gift is clear, a laugh, a story, wisdom near, a catalyst of thought so true, advancing me, advancing you. No mountain peak too steep to climb, no dream too far, no wasted time. For every soul that dares to chance, he whispers gently, advance to advance.
What do you think of that?
Woo! Yeah. So I'm talking about, that's right, D. Makes you sound like some kind of mythical figure, I guess.
Well, but in the way you are, Dom, in the way you are, I mean, it's like you kind of become, when you do this type of thing and you're out there in the ether and people are hearing you, there's probably people listening to you right now who think you're some mythical figure, right? And you're some, that's probably, that people are probably having that experience, right? So, what advice would you give to Gen Z listeners who wants to be confident and authentic in a noisy, competitive world?
Definitely. One of the major things you can do, especially as a Gen Z, or help, it could be for anyone at any age, but definitely communication skills. And I have to say the communication tree. Because the thing is, public speaking is the major one that I recommend for folks, because if you, oh my goodness, like, I could probably go on this for a while, but just the articles out there of like certain Gen Z folks who, like kids who would graduate, and they would ask their parents to come with them during interviews and actually try to be in there with them, or if they're in a Zoom call, they have their mom or dad with them. It's like, dude, like, you got to have the confidence to do that. And one way to do that is really by joining a local Toastmasters group to really get in front of people, so that way you can really get over those fears and really just keep going and showing up. Heck, even improv groups can help out with that too. Like, I've done some improv activities myself, and it's a fun experience. It can be a little challenging at first if you're not like fully willing to be vulnerable and letting go and just being in the moment. But like improv groups, Toastmasters clubs, written communication especially, like definitely that. And definitely financial literacy as well. That's definitely a huge one, especially nowadays, because I remember like even the closest thing I got to actual financial classes in actual school was probably my 12th grade year with consumer math. And some people don't even get that. So definitely like financial literacy, communication skills, and definitely networking skills as well, especially when it comes to just reaching out to people for like no reason at all, just checking up on them, like wishing them a happy birthday, like, hey, maybe wish them a happy hump day, or like I jokingly say with people, happy camel appreciation day. And they're like, hey, wait, camel's getting appreciation day? And I'm like, yeah, every Wednesday. And they're like, oh, I didn't catch that.
Another dad joke. Wow. What I think you used the word. I think I saw this on your website. What are 3 habits of elite performers that you practice every day?
Yes, preparing for the next day the night before, because that's how a good day starts, the night before. Having the clothes out ready to go the night before, after taking a shower, brush your teeth, and all that good stuff. Definitely reading or listening to something inspirational as soon as I get up in the morning. That's always a plus. And also drinking water every morning too, because the body's just dehydrated after the healing and just the defragmentation process, if you will, from the sleeping, and then you just get up to, release yourself and all that good stuff. So definitely rehydrating the body. So making sure your stuff is ready the night before so that way you can start off on the good foot. Making sure that you listen to something or read something inspirational when you wake up, and also drinking some good old H2O when you wake up, so that way you can rehydrate your body so you'll have more energy throughout the day, because I've just known the difference personally just from days I didn't do it to days when I actually did do it.
It's funny you say that, because I've got this kick for the last two years that the first thing I do when I wake up is I walk to the kitchen and drink like a big 16-ounce glass of water. And I've started doing that the last two years because, to say how old I am, it's embarrassing to say how much of my life I lived dehydrated. And a lot of people do walk around dehydrated. And my mother seemed dehydrated all the time. The only liquid she drank was tea. And so she just seemed dehydrated at all times. And ever since this year, I've started to hydrate myself a lot more. I feel so much better, so much more energy. And not just energy for life, like energy zest for everything, right? Like even love life, more zest for that, because you're hydrated and your body's working better, right? So cool. Wow. We have another story. It's a narrative that we wrote, and it's short. Oh, it's kind of on the long side. So would you like us to read it? Maybe the 3 of us could read. We can read a paragraph each. Or would you like to read it all yourself? You can do that too.
Hey, your show, man. I don't care.
Okay. Well, you don't care, or are you okay? I'm joking. Okay. He doesn't care. Hang on. Okay.
Well, I guess wrong word usage, I guess. No. But yeah, I don't mind, man.
Okay,
whichever one you prefer.
So why don't you read? So why don't we read a paragraph each? So you read the first paragraph, and then Howie, you'll do the second one, and I'll do the third one, and then you'll be back, Don, for the. So we'll go in order, okay? So do you want to start?
Sure thing. All right, a fiction narrative. The city library closed its doors at dusk, but on this particular evening, the lights inside refused to dim. The shelves hummed faintly, as though holding their breath. At a table near the center sat Dom Brightmon,
Dun, dun, dun.
his voice rising and falling in rhythm with the turn of each page. He wasn't speaking to anyone in particular, and yet the room listened.
With every story he read aloud, the air shifted. Heroes long forgotten stepped out from their bindings, dusting off centuries of quiet. Authors whose name were etched in spines nodded approvingly. Even the margins filled with scribbles from readers past seemed to lean in closer. Dom was not just reading. He was summoning.
When he closed one book and picked up another, the room expanded. Walls melted into starlight. A Toastmasters lectern appeared at one end, a microphone faintly glowing. Beyond it, rows of chairs filled with listeners, students, leaders, dreamers, and seekers, all summoned from the echoes of his work. He began to speak. Oh, cool. You're going to do the part where you're about to speak.
Advance others to advance yourself, he said. And the phrase rippled outward. Some heard it as encouragement, some as instruction, others as a challenge, but all of them felt the weight of possibility in those words.
As he spoke, those listeners began to transform. The hesitant ones straightened, the quiet ones found their voices. The weary ones found new energy in their bones. The room, once a library, had become a forge, and Dom, the steady fire shaping raw potential into lasting strength.
Now, Dom, I know it's my turn, but I'd love you to read the last paragraph since you can end strong.
Sure.
Yeah.
When he finally paused, the shelves stood tall again. The books closed gently, and the library settled back into silence. Yet nothing was the same. Those who had gathered carried new stories within them. And in some small way, Dom Brightmon had done once more what he has dedicated his life to doing, reminding the world that imagination, leadership, and positive thought are not luxuries, but lifelines, and that each of us holds a piece of immortality waiting to be written.
Well, that's also quite cool. It seems to capture what I'm getting from you. So what do you think of that?
Man, sure, I'm about to, y'all didn't send me a copy of this so I can, read it every night.
Oh, I'm going to, this document, which has the questions we asked, and it has your intro that I read before you came on, and I'll share this document with you. I always share the show notes with my guests if they want it. A few people didn't want it. You know? I mean,
which is weird. This is great, man.
It's cool and inspiring to read it to someone like you who truly gets it and appreciates it. And a few people, I read it to them, they go, oh, okay. No. That's what you get from them. But, wow. So what is your, I know we probably asked this already. What's your message to people? What's the positive message? I know you've probably said it already, but I'm going to ask you to circle back around to it.
Sure thing. Definitely encourage 5 random people today, whether it's a compliment, a kind word, just saying hi. Heck, especially if you're in customer service. I remember one time, one of my first few months in the local library, there was a volunteer there. We jokingly called him unpaid staff because sometimes he would stay past his hours and just chill, and he would also carry a laptop on his shoulder like a boombox. And he was talking to the security guard, and he was like, "Man, if no one says hi to me when I walk in the store and make me feel welcome, then I'm gonna leave because it's obvious that you don't want my business." Mm-hmm. So acknowledge people. It's kind of like the tribal chief Roman Reigns. Acknowledge me. Folks just want an acknowledgement and encouragement. So just acknowledge and encourage 5 random people today.
Yeah, I've noticed that in my life that by engaging people, by looking directly in their eyes, especially people who are serving you and giving them a smile and giving them a acknowledgement that, thank you, you're a person here with me, and I acknowledge, that really goes a long way with people. I'm not saying I do it fakely because it's in my heart to do it, but it can go a long way. Wow. You're kind of, you're killing me. You're a little bit inspirational, and I'm kind of, we've had 2 guests tonight, Howie, that
have really inspired us tonight.
Really inspired. Wow. I get the privilege to do this and meet people like you and the other people I talk to, and it's like, wow. Because one day I decided to sit in front of this mic and record, and I get to speak to people like you, and I get to, experience you in my life, and that's such a gift. And by the way, we are not sitting in the library, but we are in the studio. It's not in the library. It's actually in a public access TV.
Great callback.
Recall. But I know the libraries around here do have those kind of things. So Okay. Well, wow. So, what we could do is, because we kind of are, we've kind of talked for a while. So, any closing thoughts before we sign off and become lifelong friends?
Hey, well, thanks for inviting me to be on your podcast, and heck, even let me come back on. I know we scheduled earlier, and some good old scheduling issues got the best of us, but hey, just glad you had me, and kudos to both you, Doyle, and Howie. Like, hey, just putting this together and really putting thought into this and real preparation into this, because a lot of folks, they don't prepare at all, and they don't really take a interesting idea like this and really separate themselves from everyone else. So, like, hey, I'm thankful for the both of you. Thanks for allowing me to be on your platform, and thanks for having me on the show. And for anyone listening to this wonderful podcast, make sure you subscribe if you haven't. And thank you for listening.
And
I just want to say your laugh is really infectious. It's so my brother doesn't do small talk, and one time I told him, I said, you really come across as someone who is unapproachable, and he started to do some small talk with like the clerk at the grocery store or at the gas station or whatever, and he said that it really kind of changed him a little bit. And I think these little things can really affect other people, and your laugh is so infectious that it really affected me today. It made me smile, put me in a good mood. I keep that up.
yeah, it makes you such a light, and you glow, and you make our heart glow, and that's what the kind of people we need in the world. The people who glow, people who make the world glow, and not focused on the negativity that divides us. It's the positivity that joins us is what's important. So thank you for being part of that, part of the movement. We're starting a movement, Dom. We're starting a movement of
Yeah,
stories. Yeah.
There you
that's
go.
right, a movement, baby.
There you go.
That's right, Spirit Talk movement, baby. The spirits are talking. You gotta listen.
Oh my gosh! For a second, I thought you were breaking up into you were breaking out into freestyle rap there. That was going to be awesome. So the Spirit Talk Show.
I just rap paper, man.
Wow, you're good. You're good. That's cool. That's cool. Well, geez, thank you so much, and I love having you on. I'd definitely like to have you back. I think we could talk about some cool things, and we can collaborate. Maybe some topic that we'd like to explore together. If there's a topic that interests us both, and we can just talk about that. My show doesn't have rules. If I want to spend the time talking about something cool, that's what we do, and people are listening. So it's just about connecting with people and great things like that. Well, thank you so much. Oh, we should tell people before I do my outro. Tell them where they can find all your stuff and your podcast and stuff like that.
That's right. And the good news is you won't even need scuba gear. Just head over to dombrightmon.com. Everything Dom is there, especially the Going North podcast. Check it out like a library book, my friends, all on dombrightmon.com.
Can you spell your last name, Dom? Because I was a little confused.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. For some folks, yeah, they want the full spelling. So, yeah, so D as in David, O as in octopus, M as in mom, Brightmon, BRIGHTMON.com.
Okay. Cool. It's just we because it's written somewhere. Did you see it somewhere written?
I thought I saw
as
it
Dom
written
Brightman,
but it's
Brightmon.
Mon.
Mon.
M-O-N.
So, okay. So, because when I did my intro earlier, I was in the middle of my intro. I stopped and said, "Oh wait, Howie, is it pronounced Brightmon or Brightman?" And so we and you'll probably hear that in the show because we keep all our mistakes in. We don't edit out mistakes. Now, I might have to admit, I'll probably edit out the part where I said my first name because, but we usually don't edit. We usually don't edit anything out. I promise I'm not a criminal. I'm not wanted, but unfortunately, I have a great name and I love my whole name. But some people who share the name have done some bad things, so they're not the light in the world like you are. So, thank you. How'd you keep it fresh?
Really just growing with the times and keeping myself entertained. I added a new question like a few years ago where I would ask him, hey, if your book were a food, what would it be and why? Because books are food for the mind, and it's so hilarious because I either get one or two reactions. At first, they're gonna laugh their butts off because they're like, "Who the hell asked that kind of question?"
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or they're just taken aback and they're just like, "Dude, I got to think about this."
So, Dom, what's your book then? What food is your book?
I have to say both Stay the Course and Going North, since they're small, like self-help packages for the model. They're basically protein bars, definitely protein power bars, because the thing is, it's not built to like take up your whole day. It's just built to give you the information quick so you can get back on the go. So definitely just those power bars, definitely protein bars.
So, pro protein bars. Cool. Wow. Okay. So please go out and get those pro protein bars. Going North and Stay the Course. That's what people should do, right? Yeah. So. Sorry, I'm here. I am. We're talking like I'm still,
still recording.
I'm still recording.
You're still in host mode.
I'm in the host mode and doing the podcast. So, okay. Okay. Thank you. Have a good night. Thanks. Thank you so much, and thank you all for listening. If you guys would like to get involved, go to spirittalkshow.com and have a great night. Say good night, Howie.
Good night, Howie, and good night, Dom.
Say good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks for spending time with us. Now go make a story worth telling.